Hello, my name's Aspergers. So, sorry for the slight pause there. I wasn't quite sure if it was working or not. If you've seen my previous videos, you know that I'm quite new to the video lark. I'm getting there slowly. Anyway, I thought I I did a video a few weeks ago about my new book, which is called Obsessive Compulsive Asperger, and I thought I might talk a bit more about that today. So, I got this wrong when I did it the other day. There's There's the front cover, picture of me when I was young and picture when I was young. I think I've used that joke before. Anyway, let's get on with it. The second chapter of the book is called Storytelling, and I've always had a love of storytelling, both listening to stories, reading stories, and telling them myself. And I like to tell the occasional story. So I thought I'd just do a little bit of a reading and a bit of an explanation about this chapter. It just talks about my interest in stories, whether they be in books, films, um, music, various formats of stories, really. And the chapter starts, begin at the beginning and go on till you come to the end, then stop. This advice was given by a king to a white rabbit during a bizarre trial staged near the conclusion of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll, which was published in 1865. Personally, I think there's quite a lot to be said for starting stories at the beginning. I quite often begin in the middle, hop backwards to the opening and meander around through several digressions and eventually reach something like the ending. I've got this There's great interest in the idea of Wonderland, and we all like to create a sort of. I like to wave my hand. Oh, my hands is coming in. Right, put my hands away. I like to wave my hands around sometimes when I tell stories for added effect. Anyway, now I suppose going back to when I was a child, as well as reading, I used to get a lot of stories from television. I used to watch favourite programs I used to watch. I used to watch a lot of comedy back in the 70s when I was young. One of my favourites was the two Ronnies. I remember Ronnie Corbett used to sit in his chair and he used to tell these stories and they used to meander on forever, it seemed. And at the time I thought it was a bit irritating, but I kind of think now that I think he's had some sort of influence on me. So perhaps now I should actually now come to something a bit more sensible. And what I really want to talk about today is the influence of George Orwell on me. Because he's been my favourite writer for a long time. I read most of his books when I was sort of late teens, and he's still my favourite author. I just think that Orwell's got a great conversational prose style, and he's really good at explaining profound ideas. Now, as well as he's well known for his novels, he also wrote some books of essays and journalism, and after he died, like a collected essay set was put together, and the first piece in it was a piece called Why I Write, which Orwell wrote in 1946 to basically summarise his literary career and what he thought, the motivation of a writer was. Now, he said that he could think of four factors. The first of which was we called sheer egoism, which was just the wish to be recognised as a clever person. Next was aesthetic enthusiasm, which was followed from the appreciation of beauty and just taking pleasure in the usage of words and a wish to share experience. The third one was he called historical impulse, which was that an author wanted to find facts and keep them for posterity. And his final motive was political purpose, with writers seeking to influence people's ideas about the direction of their society. So I kind of thought, well, what are my motives? And I think, well, we can't always be certain about motives, can we? But I think a wish for communication is one of my main motives. I feel the need to connect my enthusiasms, ideas, and knowledge with those of my fellow human beings. Because I've got Aspergers, sometimes I find it easier to do that in written format than in sort of just day-to-day human interaction. And I like to give a permanent record to experiences, some of which would just otherwise be forgotten. And possibly that's partly a sort of a manifestation of my having OCD as well. But I really enjoy writing a piece of work, and then the satisfaction of when I get it, when it's published and it's read by others and discussed. It just feels to me that that's sort of a nice process which I enjoy. So I suppose if you think in terms of what Orwell was saying, I suppose ego plays a bit, perhaps a bit too big a bit in my writing. Politics has always been quite important to me in my writing, but I I just see my writing, which I've with modest success has been doing throughout my adult life, is something that I feel is a really important part of my life. It's a way of expressing myself, and sort of it adds to the developing story of my life as in a way that I take great comfort from the achievements of what I've written and have published. Sorry, this one's gone a bit longer than I thought it would, but hopefully that was of interest. A few people have watched my previous videos, so someone's watching. So thank you for those who are watching, and I'll probably be back with another one quite soon. Thank you. Good night. Bye.